meditation and spiritual practice our regular Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. And I'm Rabbi K'vod and really looking forward to starting the day with all of you this way. So in our Torah portion, we're smack dab in the middle of the Exodus story. And this is the ending. Parshat Bo is the ending of the spiritual practice, the plagues, and Pharaoh finally letting the people go. And one of the first things that Moses does when he gathers the people is he gives them the mitzvah to bless the moon, but specifically the mitzvah is to have the calendar. So, in the Torah, the way it says is this month, Chodesh, is the first of months for you. And, it's an amazing thing that the commentators really say is that up until this moment, there was no calendar or way of measuring time according to the cycles, the waxing and the waning of the moon. This is really kind of the beginning of the Jewish calendar and of any kind of calendar or marking of time that is moving with the cycles of the seasons. And the Hasidic commentator, the Chaim B'Chesed, says something amazing, which is that he says that it says this month is the first of months for you, meaning that you, Israel, need to have a calendar. You need to have a calendar. You need to be able to measure time. You need to be able to see the waxing and the waning of the moon and be able to know that just as darkness can descend throughout the cycle of the year, the light also comes back, both on a monthly basis, but also on a yearly basis as it goes forward. And the reason why you need this is because you can get so identified, it's natural and it's human to be identified with darkness, with contraction when it's happening in your life, that you can forget that renewal happens. You can forget that there is a movement for the light to come back. And so this kind of natural cycle of time for you in your human consciousness is necessary for the very reality of knowing about the reality of renewal, right? That the moon starts small and it will continue to expand its light. But the Hasidic master says, the reality is that nature, the cycle, the expansion, the contraction is a lie, is a lie. What does he mean by that? Not that it's a lie that the cycle doesn't happen. Of course the cycle happens. Of course, everything that we look in the world of natural law functions, according to those things. But what the lie is that it happens independently from God. That it's almost like this idea that at some point God made a decision and pushed a button and said, this is how the natural cycle of things is going to work. And it's going to happen whether you humans or I, God, like it or not, is not actually how it works. That God is present and choosing that natural cycle at every moment. The way that he says it is beautiful. I'm just going to read it here. He says, but nature is in fact a lie. The truth is that the Blessed Holy One conducts everything. God changes the times, varies the seasons, and orders the stars. The stars and constellations that seem so natural are changed according to God's will. If we were always at the level of clarity to realize that God conducts everything, we would have no need for renewal. But our nature causes us to need it. It's an amazing thing to say. If we were at the level of clarity to realize that God conducts everything, we would have no need for renewal. Because if you think about it, really, the need for renewal, the need to be able to see things fresh, whether that's our new year or our new month, or even waking up in the morning, comes because we have a natural tendency to identify the present moment with the past, and to not see the moment as completely new, as completely open, as completely fresh. It's a natural tendency that we have to be caught in the cycle of nature. Oh, the sun came down, of course the sun's going to come up. That's just nature. It's not an amazing thing for me to look out and see the sun rise in the morning. Why? Because I expect it. I expect it. I take my awareness of the past, which is the sun sets, the sun rises, and because I expect the sun to rise again, I don't experience it each new day as a completely fresh and new moment. In some way, if I were to, what I would need to do to experience the sun coming up as fresh, new, all of it, is to be able to be present in the moment, not identified with what's come before, not presuming that this is just the way the cycle happens. I have to be able to be present to the fact that this moment, this sunrise today, is a miraculous, beautiful thing. Boom, right there. So the level of clarity that he's talking about is to say that the truth is that every moment is unfolding through God's presence, fresh, each moment, never before. And our only way that we don't see it that way is because we're seeing through the lens of the past, through what we call nature. Well, that's just how it is. And so again, the practice, whether it's in our meditation or in our life, is to know that renewal is not, even though we just had the new moon of Shvat last week, even though the cycles do provide renewal every month, we know that each moment is completely fresh, is completely open. So that's really what we're going to practice today in our meditation, is the open, present, vibrant awareness of now. And that even each breath, right, it's going to be natural for us to kind of dull our senses even to the movement of breath. Why? Because breath is natural. It just happens. In and out and in and out. I know that next breath is going to happen. I know what's going to happen. It's happened all the way. And yet even each breath is coming from the will of the Creator. Each one through all of us. What would it mean to even relate to breath with that kind of fresh, open awareness? So go ahead and find a comfortable place to sit, that you can sit for a period of time without moving around too much. Go ahead and close this out. And let your eyes close. And just tap in first with your desire, your intention to be fully here in this moment. Not as a moment in linear time, not a moment that has a number attached to it, but just the eternal present. That all of our attention and awareness is going to be right here with what's in front of us. present to the God reality that infuses all of life in every moment. So with that intention, you can notice the movement of breath, where the air enters the nostrils or the mouth, the expansion of each inhale, the place where the inhale reaches its maximum length and switches over into the exhale. The body's contraction. And following the air as it reaches its maximum length of the exhale, following it back into an inhale. And as you pay attention to the movement of breath, the corresponding sensations in the body as the breath expands, body expands and contracts, let go of anticipation. Let go of expecting what is going to happen through that cycle of breath. Yes, we know about the inhale and the exhale, but can we be present at every moment just for that stage in the breath without anticipating where it's going to go next? It means completely letting go of control, of a certain sense of security that frames reality in a certain way. And instead is just present for each stage of the movement of breath without anticipating future. Let your awareness expand to include your body in space, the contact of your bottom of your feet on the floor, your bottom on the chair, the distance between the bottom of your spine and the top of your head. All the sensation and shape of your body in line with every stage of the breath. It's a decision to be radically open to the raw moment. To let go of future, to let go of past. And to notice the energy, the vibrancy, the aliveness that infuses every part of each moment of breath, of body, of sound. That every part of this moment is God unfolding so that you are aware in every moment there's just presence. When we follow time, when we track, when we hold on to what just happened moments before, or we anticipate what is going to happen moments into the future, we experience change. We notice that every single moment is different than the one before. That God unfolding presence is continually shifting into new form, new color, new sensation. But when we let go of the moment in the past and the anticipation of the future, all there is the divine presence of this moment. That presence, that ever presence. Our experience of that ever presence in a moment is a reflection of that ever presence that is our own awareness, that is the one that is looking, the one that is witnessing. Everything in this moment. The one that is looking does not change. The one that is looking is ever present. Has always been and always will. Our very own consciousness and awareness. I'll be quiet for a period of time and just invite you to just dwell in that ever presence that is here for each moment on its own account. And that even in the very act of being here for each moment, we become aware of the ever presence that watches through us. Hi, hi, di, di, di. Yada, di, yada, di, yada, di. Yai, di, 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 di. Yada, di, yada, di, yada, di. Yai, di, 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 di. Yada, di, yada, di, yada, di. Yai, yai, di, di, di. Yada, di, yada, di, yada, di. I, di, di, di. Yai, di, 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 di. Yai, di, 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 di. Yai, di, 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 di. Ay, 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 ay. Yai, di, 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 di. Yai, di, di, di. Yai, di, 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 di. Yotzeror uvorech Hoshem Oseh Shalom uvorech et hakol Yotzeror uvorech Hoshem Oseh Shalom uvorei et hakol or chadash al Tzion tahir v'nizkechu lanu mehera leoro or chadash al Tzion tahir v'nizkechu lanu mehera leoro. Or yadadai, 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 yadadai. Yai, dai, 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 yada, dai, da, da, dai, da, da, dai. Yai, dai, 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 yada, dai, da, da, dai, yada, dai. Yai, dai, 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 yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, dai, yai, dai, dai, dai. Thank you for those moments together. Anything to share? Questions, comments, thoughts, letting go of the past, letting go of anticipation of the future? Eileen, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
We've been talking forever about gratitude.
Yes.
And this practice leads very, very much into if we live every moment, if we look out at the sky, at the trees, at the earth, that the sun comes up, and that we're grateful for that, and that God is involved in that, then it would help us, especially during this times, because there are so many things to be unhappy about. But if we take the attitude of starting with God is involved in it, and we are grateful. It'll help us get through our life.
Yes, beautiful. I really appreciate you drawing that connection, Eileen, because if you think about being in a moment where you have let go of past and let go of anticipation for future, there is nothing lacking, right? That the absence of gratitude comes from the feeling or the belief of lack, that something is missing, that something is not here. And that the only way that we have an experience of lack is that if we're measuring our experience of the present moment against either a memory of the past or a vision or hope for the future. And either one of those things creates lack. So if you are completely letting go of past and future and totally present in the moment, there is a fullness in that presence that is synonymous with that sense of gratitude. Thank you. You can just go ahead and unmute yourselves to speak. I can't see everybody on one screen.
Oh, this is Maury. I don't know if anyone else is waiting to speak.
Go ahead, Maury.
I was thinking a meditation outside of meditation processes, it really is a blessing actually that we don't have to feel our internal, our bodily processes, that we don't have to be aware of our heart beating and breathing and our putting one foot in front of the other. And when we are aware, it's usually because something is wrong. So that I always think of that as a blessing, that those things do happen automatically. And that the other side of the blessing is being able to be aware of everything that's around us, be aware of nature and be aware of every little beautiful thing there is and the beautiful things that people have made. And then, of course, the beautiful things about people themselves. So these, the difference between the body just kind of going, hopefully, on its own, and then this wonderful awareness of everything around us.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, just to comment on that piece of not being, of the body happening automatically, functioning, doing its thing, and not having, I think that is one of the realities of being in a body, of being, is that bodies decay, right? I mean, we're all decaying. It's just how it is.
Some of us faster than others.
Some of us faster than others. The decay is happening, and that's where, again, where you begin to measure in time. That's where you notice the decay, whether that decay is manifesting itself through uncomfortable sensation. It's something that happens in time. And when I say in time, we speak about kind of that awareness, that human consciousness dynamic of linking past to future and noticing change, right? It's noticing change. So on one hand, being able to be open and accepting of change, and knowing, and not resisting change is for sure one way to meet that reality. And another is to be so in the present moment that you don't even notice change. It's just what's here. It's just what's here. And almost what I'm even thinking, Maury, as you're even saying, of just not even being aware of what's going on in the body on a moment to moment, that there can be a dimension of that that's just not focused on the change that's happening moment to moment in the body. And there's something liberating about that. There's something liberating about not focusing on that as well. So that's just another avenue to timelessness.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other comments? Was it was it easy? How was it for people to just really make that commitment to let go of anticipation of future, of past, to be each moment, moment by moment or moment? What did you notice happening in your own dynamic of your consciousness as you intended that?
I look, I've done something similar, a Thich Nhat Hanh exercise, which is similar. And I found doing that I looked forward to the getting up in the morning, to what would be new. And it has been a very good practice for me. I have a birch tree that I watch to see how she is and how it's changing. And it's really wonderful because it's made me more aware of all the other things that are happening. The other day, I mean, this was at a time where I really wasn't able to get out of bed without help. And I looked up and I saw that the orchid plant that I'd had in the dining room, which is where is now my bedroom, and I noticed that it was putting forth two new flowers. So it brings itself full cycle where you're not in the time frame, but I try to be present for whatever comes in the current time that I'm at. I don't know if any of that makes sense.
Yes.
But I find it very, very healing.
Yes, and I think, to tie this, what you're saying, Sherry, also back to the teaching is what allows you to be present because really it's a decision, right? It's a decision ultimately to be present for whatever comes, for whatever's in front of us. And that decision can be motivated by the awareness that each moment is new, new, right? That when you look at that birch tree in the morning, that there's already a sense that this is a new day. And I know we know all of that intellectually. Of course we know it. But the reality is that so much of the time, without even being aware, we wake up and almost expect that things are going to unfold today just the way that they did yesterday. And I think that so much of the difficulty for people in getting up in the morning, and really greeting and being there in the new day is the belief that in some sense that we're bound by what happened before, that we're going to have to experience whatever it is. Maybe it was uncomfortable the day before, maybe it was whatever, but this belief in some way that the past is here in the present. And so, it's to really internalize the newness every day, every moment. That's what can motivate and drive our desire and our decision to be present, because who wants to miss out?
Yeah, exactly.
So why is it so exciting to see a new bud on a branch? It's always exciting. I never cease to. I get so excited just to see something blooming, a new bud.
Yeah. Life is exciting. Life and aliveness is exciting. It's really, it can try to say it to my kids, but when you hear I'm bored, and adults may not say it out loud, but we can feel it too. I'm bored. It's really a lack of attention. It's a lack of paying attention. That's what creates boredom. So paying attention, that allows us to be part of this miraculous unfolding.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Great to start out our Tuesday together. I hope everybody has a beautiful day of experiencing the newness of creation all the way through till the time we close our eyes tonight. And great to see everybody.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good day.
Have a good day, good week. Thank you, everyone.